This is an explanation of how S-chess came about and what S-chess is. So in the 1920s, you had this world champion. He was gifted, Jose Raul Capablanca, and everything came to him very easy. And he thought that the game of chess was doomed to become a draw. That between two masters of equal strength, they would always be able to draw one another. And he created what he called Capablanca chess. And Capablanca chess, he introduced two pieces, a marshal and a chancellor. The marshal had, if we think of the queen, we think of the queen as having the powers of a rook and bishop combined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So he created a marshal, which would have the powers of a rook and a knight combined, and he created a chancellor, which would have the powers of the bishop and knight combined. So he proposed chess on a 10 by 10 board with these two extra pieces. The Trinity College of Dublin said 10 by 10, the pawns are so far away from each other, and the wings are so far, the knights would lose a lot of their value on a 10 by 10 board. Can we do a 10 by 8 board? And he said, okay, let's do a 10 by 8 board. Capablanca chess never became popular.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the powers of these two new pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my friend Bruce Harper and I were in his kitchen, and we were talking about the modern state of chess and how much theory had been developed and so on. So we began to talk about Capablanca and Capablanca chess. So there were a couple of innovations we came up with. The first is, when I use the term marshal, what image comes in your mind? When I think of the word marshal, I think of field marshal general.
Right.
So a kind of a general amongst generals. So, so the image I have is some guy in a military outfit, full of medals on his chest. And when I think of the word chancellor, the image I have is like Chancellor Merkel of Germany, a politician with a big necklace, and this power kind of thing. So if you were to reduce those two images to chess pieces, they'd be human-like images.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did is we changed the name. Instead of a marshal, we have an elephant. And instead of a chancellor, we have a hawk. Now, our innovation really is about the chessboard itself. And instead of having a 10 by 8 board, I love the 8 by 8 board. Okay. But how do you put the elephant and the hawk on the board? I mean, should we put the pawns at the start like this and hide them?
Looks a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
And artificial. Okay, so our innovation that Bruce and I came up with was very simple. We start chess in the normal way. We start chess. You have 8 pieces on the back rank, 8 pieces on the first rank. When you move a piece off of its original square, you create a vacant square behind it. And you have the option, if you want, of putting one of the pieces to the square that's been vacated. You play the move knight f3 and do not put anything on the board. I play knight f6 and likewise do not put anything on the board. You're a genius. Usually shoot your knight in true Nimzovichin style. And I do the same.
Draw.
Right. Now you're clever. Now you push your knight here and you put a piece on the board. No, it's not allowed. Think of it as a en passant. Once you move your knight up off of its original square, or any piece off the original square, you can gate a piece on the board, but only on that turn.
It's a one-time opportunity.
Correct. Now, we continue. You castle.
Now
You haven't pressed your clock. You haven't pressed your clock. But you made two vacant squares, E1 and H1. But it takes you 2 turns to bring on both pieces. So you could put one piece on E1 or on H1, or one piece on H1 or E1. But you can't, it takes you 2 pieces. Castling creates 2 vacancies, but you can only use one or none. All right. Now, let's do something. So, E4, D6, D4, E5, D takes E5. Now, we all understand our beloved Berlin.
Yes.
But this loses on the spot to checkmate.
So tell me, which one moves again as a rook and a bishop, and which one is a knight and a bishop?
And a rook.
So this is the
element.
Yes, this is the rook and knight, and the hawk is the bishop and knight. So of course, what you would do is you would take my queen. You haven't pressed the clock, and you would put your elephant supporting the queen. Checkmate. So checkmate and one. Yeah. Okay. Now, before we get into the game itself, I'd just like you to kind of get a feel for these new pieces so you can understand a little bit how powerful they are and how they can interact with other pieces. Yeah, take it home. Okay, so this is a study that I composed, and you are white, and it's white to move and win. This is the rook and the knight. If it was black's turn, I could draw on the spot. I would give a check. You would go here. I would go rook here. You're in a pin. We're going to trade elephant for rook. King and king, draw agreed. So here we have a situation where it's white to move and win, and you don't need the cooperation of your king to overcome these pieces. Cool. Now remember, it's a rook and a knight. So what's the first one?
Well, check seems like
Yes.
Check seems
Check.
pretty,
Now,
pretty sexy.
this is illegal.
Yeah.
Illegal.
Yeah.
Illegal. I have one and only one move.
Now, basically, I have 3 checks at my disposal. That makes sense, right? I can check you here, I can check you here, and I can check you here.
Right. So this check we can reject almost right away
because I'm dominated. Right?
Nothing's happening.
This check
is very cool.
It's cool, but
because
you're forced to play your rook, right?
Right. This move is illegal. This move is illegal. This move is illegal. If I make this move, I lose to a fork.
Yeah.
Okay. So already we have seen one tactic of fork. I have to bring my rook here. Bravo. Check. It's all forced. Bravo. Bravo. Yes. Very impressive.
This is very nice.
Very nice. Yes. Yes.
And checkmated it.
Checkmate. Very nice. That's step 1. Okay. I'm very impressed what happened. You have shown me checkmate here in this corner. I want you to reverse the pattern and checkmate me in this corner.
Something's about to happen with my
Very
king.
good. Very good. Continue. Very good, Robin.
I'm getting pinned, Yasser.
Just a second. Now stop. Now stop.
Okay.
Hammer time.
Because if you do check me, you get pinned there.
Exactly. So I'm going to move it here.
Precisely.
And it's checkmate.
Beautiful. So now you have checkmated me here, in a smothered mate kind of way. I would like you to checkmate me here again. You haven't quite solved the problem. Go ahead. Check. 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 Here.
Instead of just winning your rook, you
Go.
want
No. Go ahead.
Oh.
And win the rook if you
Oh.
He
like.
wants to stalemate himself.
Isn't that awesome?
check. I can take because it's stalemate.
Because it's stalemate. So now you have, you've seen a fork, smothered mate, and a stalemate.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now, sorry, you were so good at the start, we went a little too fast. Could you be so kind enough to checkmate me here?
Check. Same pattern.
Same pattern. So now we can make a discovery. When the rook is on b4 or b5, you can't capture the rook because of the stalemate pattern. So from the start, it turns out that this check saves me. You allow me to put my rook on a square, which is good for me. Now you can't take the rook, or if you want the rook here, you can't take the rook. So it turns out that this check and this check are wrong. Now you have to solve the problem. Very good. Check. Now if I go here, now I'm in the pattern.
Right.
And I lose.
Right.
Can't go here, can't go here.
So you gotta move.
I gotta go here. Now this is the tough move. This is the hard move to find. It's kind of like the sparkling part of the study.
The cherry on the pie.
If I check you,
So you either have to move the king here without moving the rook.
Yes.
Or
you don't want the rook to be forced to
exactly.
move at all. You like the rook where it is, because then you can capture it if the king were not protecting it. But as soon as you put it on b4, b5, then you can't capture it. So check is a repeat of the position.
Yeah.
This is a nice check.
Yeah.
In case of
Right.
king b5, the
Because
king
king
a4.
Exactly.
I don't see the concept.
Exactly. There's no continuation.
So but the other check seems like it would give you a lot of space. Like if I check you here,
Right.
You're
Then
running
you
into-
let me escape. That's right. So this check is senseless.
So-
This check is senseless.
this.
Also, I can run away.
Yeah, and actually, I guess the pattern still holds where if you have the one distance with the knight, it's like kind of good, I suppose, right?
Right.
So the one diagonal distance.
So this check doesn't help. This check, this check, this check. This check doesn't help.
So let's see. If I check you here, you can't actually come closer.
Right.
You can go here.
But then I'm back in the...
But then I check you here.
And then I'm in the bad pattern. Precisely. Bravo. You take away these squares. Now if I go here...
You can win the rook.
You can win the rook. If I go here, I walk
You go back
into
in the
force
pattern.
mate. Or I lose my rook. So I will go here.
Looks to me like the pattern doesn't change all that much.
Here I lose.
Right, but here I'm taking your rook because it's on.
Yeah. Nice, right?
Very nice.
So just with these little 4 pieces, 2 kings, a rook, and an elephant, what did you see? You saw forks, smothered mates, stalemates, and pretty interesting pattern. Now, the next one, this is very easy. This is very easy. Okay.
Actually, should we turn this one around and put it on that side of the board for closer to?
No, I think this is a good for
Yeah,
viewers.
okay.
So this one is the bishop and knight combined. It's the hawk. It's the only piece that can checkmate by itself.
Yeah.
Right. Very nice.
Very nice. Okay. So this is a very easy one. Go ahead. Bravo. Check. The ladder check. Yes. Yeah. Bravo.
Well,
Take
I
the
could
rook.
just take your
Take the rook. And now checkmate me in 2 moves. Oh. Bravo. And there's another 2-move checkmate.
Well, you can force it with the rook, yeah.
Oh, that's true. I bet you do it by check, not by making quiet. Another interesting mating pattern is like this, right?
Oh, that's the one.
That's one I did.
Another one is this.
Oh, right.
And this.
That's
okay,
nice.
very good. So it turned out that through ladder checks, when your hawk was on h1,
Mm-hmm.
you just ladder checked, took my rook, won the game.
Yeah.
So the study is I'm going to put the hawk on g2.
Mm-hmm.
So ladder checks
Stop at d5.
But by showing it to you this way, you I'm intimating to you the solution to the problem, so like you need to lose a move, you need to give me the move kind of thing. So, first, check, and again, you haven't achieved nirvana.
Mm-hmm. Feels like I could move my hawk to a square where I might be able to win your rook.
Yes.
But the question is, obviously I'm going to move it diagonally.
Yes.
Because I want to stay on this diagonal.
Well, I'm thinking something like if you put it here, he only has one square with his rook. Let's give it that.
But this... Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
Well, you can only go to c1.
Let's try to calculate this.
Yes.
Like hawk e4, rook to c1, let's say, far away from the king.
Yes.
If I give a ladder check on d6, you move to a8.
Yes.
I could give you a ladder check on b7, move to b8.
Yes.
And that's where it ends.
Pretty much ends.
Yes. Yeah. If I give a ladder check on g3, your king starts moving, and it seems kind of tricky. So really what I want is to, if I go to d5, I would have a check here, but then I would be worried about c2.
That's right.
Indubitably.
Right. And then, like you say, you want to keep the hawk on e4, or on the long diagonal, you kind of keep my king in prison, so that indeed I only do have a rook move. So in other words, what I'm saying, if you were to move your hawk in such a way, you're giving me options.
Exactly. So I need to pick a
good square.
One more time. This seems like the most logical move, but I need to be sure that I win the rook when it goes to c1. And of course, h8 is another option. But at least as far away as possible seems like the most logical move.
Okay.
Rook to c1.
I like the way you're
approaching the problem.
Your approach, yes, it's very logical.
But you don't solve Yasser's riddles.
No.
Logic approaches.
No.
I could make a move with my king, but that looks a little bit ridiculous.
But of course, we know from our knight versus bishop game, the kings are almost in perfect.
Right. In fact, if I move my king, you're gonna play king to c7.
Right. Yeah. You're giving me an opportunity, maybe running.
If I go back here, this feels very bad because you're gonna go rook to c3, and you've got my knight part dominated, so to speak.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you did go hawk to h1 and then went rook to c3, I'd be protecting g3 square.
Exactly.
So you couldn't ladder me.
So bishop to e4, rook to c1. You don't really have a threat of checking me either.
Well, you need to find a way to win the rook.
Yeah.
At that point, then.
Yeah.
Because his king can go this way because it's pretty obvious to put him on either this square to win the rook.
Yeah.
I think this is the part where you go rook hunting.
Okay.
So what was the drawback of putting it on d5 that we're going to see?
I have no idea. So, for example, if you went here, Let's imagine.
I would say here.
I went here. I attacked your pawn. Now let's say you go here. I go here.
Sure.
And now you win my rook.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I can't actually.
Oops.
Ooh. Hold on. So where did you go? No, D5.
D5.
Okay, so D5. Let's say I go here.
Same pattern.
Same
Check.
pattern.
Check.
And in this case, it's
the
the same.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so D5. So if I go H8, the reason I want to go over here is I want to try to get this. So you can give me
check again.
Yeah.
And
not going to be easy to
win your rook.
hunt my rook.
That's why we need it on E4.
Right, but my problem with E4 was rook to C1.
Right.
All right.
Which looks actually like geometrically almost similar to D5, H8.
Right. See, I wouldn't go to C1 because I'll go here.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, but now you have a mate in 4. 1, 2,
3.
Yeah.
The typical one.
and 4.
Yes.
So hold on, you went here.
I went to C1, which would defend against that, I guess.
Right. Well, just a second. Something's weird here. I think you're cooking my thing.
Your prize-winning study. He's mocking it.
What about this one? Because this would be 2 solutions. If this were good for you, it would mean that there were 2 solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you would have cooked my study.
Actually, this looks like a very strong move.
Yes.
It's dominating. Yeah, my only check is to actually go to G3, which is silly.
Yeah.
Nothing closer.
Right. So you need to move to a square that dominates.
Does it make any sense for me to do something like Bishop H1,
Rook H1, Hawk H1.
Hawk H1,
Rook C3.
Right.
Protecting.
But I just don't want you to check me. Does it make any sense? So let's say you put it here, and I now move here. I'm attacking your rook. I'm just curious where you would move it to.
Here, I get forked at once.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably you're moving it here, but
where am I moving it?
Probably to C2.
Okay. I'm a little bit afraid, but I'll move it there.
Give you the benefits.
I think you've got me sort of.
It's okay.
Under control. You check. You just
move and
move on. I only have a check on D5.
Thank goodness that Hawk E4 and Hawk D5 don't win. So basically, you're coming by a process of elimination. This seems wrong. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. This is evidently wrong. Yes. Now, king can't move. If my rook goes to the side, you mate me instantly.
Yes. It's
checkmate into
this one again, right?
No.
Sorry. This one.
No.
Sorry. This one and then this one.
That's right. Okay.
Go on,
so this one is easy. You just fork right away.
Yeah.
This one and this one are both very easy. You fork right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have to go here.
See, now I feel like, of course I can check you and check you.
Bravo.
Yeah. Check.
It's sort of like when you're on E4, you protect B1, which is very nice.
Right.
But you also need to be attacking the rook while also creating a checkmating threat.
Yes.
So.
Oh, yeah.
I would.
This was nice.
And then, yeah.
Now you've controlled my rook, but you're not hitting me with a checkmating threat, and you're not attacking my rook.
Yes.
Well, if I could play 2 moves with white, I would go here, and then
Precisely.
there your mate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So if you go
There.
this as the first move,
geez.
your rook is pinned.
Yeah. And now the problem is, if I come back, it's mate.
Yeah.
You take the rook. So I have to go here to defend mate.
If I put it on the b file, you're literally pinning me.
Well, no, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I'm taking it.
No. I mean, if I would move my hawk,
Oh, yes.
you would pin me.
And pin you and draw on the spot.
Yeah.
So I have to defend here.
But
now you get me in the corner.
Whoa.
This hawk is a dangerous creature.
Yeah.
To answer the question, yes. Theoretically, in a chess game, you can have 9 queens. Theoretically, in an chess game, you can have 9 elephants or 9 hawks. When you play chess and you promote a pawn today, 95, 98% of the time you'd promote it to a queen.
Mm-hmm.
In chess,
it's a big question.
Ooh, it's a very big question. So, for example, in this position, white is going this way, black that way. White is promoting.
Well, we all know that if I get a queen,
it's a draw.
Yeah.
If I'm getting a rook bishop here, that simply looks ridiculous.
No, rook knight. It was a rook knight, right?
Yes.
No, sorry, that's a rook bishop is a queen.
Yeah, that's the draw. That's the draw. The rook bishop is
just pointing
I'm glad you don't make the.
So I can get a bishop knight, which is
a hawk,
which is my hawk, and my elephant is my rook knight.
Yes.
So basically, I have to figure out what the difference is, which looks kind of simple because a bishop knight is no chess.
Exactly.
No check.
Right. So you put on your elephant.
My elephant.
I move. Obviously, I would like an elephant too.
Who doesn't?
Maybe we make a draw.
Okay, so let's get closer. Let's go to G6.
Check. Let's say I go here.
Okay.
If I check you here,
Okay.
I mean, I have two checks.
Two.
I also have simply
Yeah,
moving,
making
making
Yes.
making the.
Yeah, check here. This is actually very straightforward. There's no tricks or anything.
Can I just play here?
Yes, of course. Yes, exactly, of course. Bravo. Pretty good. I usually play this, but this is also simply...
Yeah, and then you go here.
Yes. Also very simple. And boom.
Exactly.
So the elephant wins against every pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that the queen draws with A, C, F, and H. The elephant wins all the time. So in this situation, we all understand the back rank checkmate. Yeah? Ooh, back rank checkmate. So oftentimes we try to make Luft.
Mm-hmm.
This would fail miserably. This would fail miserably, as it's made in 2.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Now, this move would also fail miserably.
It's where router comes in.
This is where I come into the clutch again?
Yes.
Okay, I guess we're gonna. There's only one check available.
There's only one check. So
check.
Now there's 2 checks available.
Yeah.
But you eat.
But
yeah.
Yes.
And
you get the idea that the elephant in this case is out-dueling the queen.
Yes.
Like you made a Luft against the queen and you can kind of keep your structure. And when you're dueling with the elephant, it's virtually impossible. The elephant is
really
dominant with the rook and the knight combination. Okay. Now, let's start from the starting position. So I can give you some idea. In chess, we take it as a given, obviously, that white stands better. And of course, the statistics bear that out. And we say in chess that white against two master players, white player can almost force a draw through symmetry. Think about it, Petrov and what white can, or if I'm playing a Slav, I can play an exchange Slav. But because we're each going to have 8 chances of bringing in, I don't have to copy you. There's no symmetry. So we understand that the pieces are very powerful. If I were to ask you, how would you both rank this elephant? Is it worth a queen? We've seen examples where it can be more powerful than a queen.
I mean, for technical endgames, it's worth more than a queen. Some examples, but still,
it's still 2 pieces combined.
If you're
rook and bishop,
if you're thinking about the elephant playing against other pieces, it's probably not as powerful as a queen. Okay. It's very powerful playing against the king and maybe a few pawns or something like that. So I would say it's probably 8.
Probably 8?
Yeah, I go in with my Dutch boy.
The Dutch boy. And the hawk?
I mean, I would say the logical thing is that you have some sort of... I mean, 6 would be normal, right? Because it's knight and bishop.
Pieces.
But I would say there's some sort of synergy gains.
Exactly.
So 7 would be...
And the checkmate by itself, king?
Yeah, I would
That's
say...
got to have some value. Like, pieces need other pieces to help checkmate it. But that's got to give it a little bit of a tip up.
Sure. Technically speaking, the elephant should still be stronger than the hog. But I would say, just for synergy gains, I would say 7 is normal. But then, or if I'm going with 8, then I'll have to reevaluate my elephant.
It becomes a question because of certain openings that I'm about to show you. If we think the elephant is worth a queen, fine. That's make this very. If we think it's worth less than a queen, that's good. The hawk, less than a queen, less than an elephant, more than a rook, more than 2 pieces, but somewhere between 2 pieces and a queen. We're not sure.
Right. If you do end up exchanging 2 pieces, especially if it's knight bishop against hawk, I don't think that would render you a lost position in most cases.
That would be very interesting. I haven't studied that. Okay, we understand in any case that these 2 pieces are really, really powerful, really powerful. One of my favorite aspects of chess is the combination. This idea that you're going to sacrifice material for a forced sequence of moves that has you attain a goal at the end. So the combination is beautiful, except some of my best combinations feature me running out of firewood.
Yeah.
Hate that. With this extra pieces, this is not just adding firewood, this is adding, serious gasoline because the pieces are so powerful. With the pieces so powerful in the opening, you're going to really have to watch the position of your king. Okay? King's Gambit may not be a good idea in S-chess.
Actually, if you think about openings such as what is it called, the Greco Gambit?
Yes.
Where you sacrifice, how does it go, Yasser? Is it this? G5?
Yes, G5, Bishop C2, G4, castle.
Yeah. Like, this would probably be very good for me. I'm just going to put it in and take, and it's going to be awesome, right?
Awesome. Yeah. This is one of those where running out of firewood, but now you've got more firewood. Yes. Ooh. Okay, takes. Yeah, knight F3.
Okay.
I would play D5, and just for the purposes of discussion here, you'll take. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a check. And I'm going to put a hawk backing up my queen. And just to show potential, we'll take. Now I'll check.
You can put in.
Are you putting in some more?
No, because
you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to.
I used this. Yes. Now this, of course, is a winning move for white, and we'll see why in a moment. But white panics. He's afraid. He sees G3 takes triple question mark. Checkmate.
Yes.
White sees this and panics and moves his king.
Okay.
Now, black yeah, baby. Check. Only move.
All right. Well, let's bring in the hog.
The hog.
Let's bring in the hog.
I like it on F2.
Oh, an F2 even nicer.
F2. Ooh. No.
No, we want to checkmate.
Yes, of course.
So I'm looking at something like
yes,
like this.
Bravo. Now all the squares are covered, and it's mate in one.
One.
In one.
Well, this is one, right?
Yes, this is one. Whoa! Pretty brutal, right? Pretty brutal. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yes. Oh, okay. Hold on. So just for
edification,
sake of objective. Yes. If you check me.
Yes.
I take.
Yes.
G2.
Now the best way perhaps for me. Like I'm just trying to understand what happens if I check you.
Bravo.
You could.
Right. Let's go.
You could do that, but I was thinking you might move your king aside and sacrifice it to
to get something there. Yes.
That can happen.
It looks very dangerous. For example,
yes,
because if you play another move, Yasser, because you're
gonna throw in something.
I'm gonna have to put something in, right? Like probably my hawk.
Exactly.
And okay, and in that sense, when you now move and put something in, I'm just going to take it, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not such a big deal.
Exactly.
Well, it's still a big deal.
It's still a big deal.
You have
okay. Okay, let's see what I'd like to show.
Okay.
Let's say here. Now you castle.
Okay, I have not put anything in.
No.
Okay.
But castle.
I could.
And put the elephant on E1 with check.
Right.
Totally refuting the attack.
Yes.
There's no longer any kills over there whatsoever.
Right.
But you raised a very good question. The question you raised is you could put the elephant, if you chose, on F1.
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay, if you want to keep your attack going, you gotta move your king and put in your elephant.
That's right.
Yeah.
So check.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we take.
And of course you're gonna play.
Yeah, G2.
Yeah, because
you
just go king.
Because you can get your elephant rook and your elephant as a new piece, right?
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
But then it's protected.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking maybe about this move.
In any case, I'm forced to play king E2.
And you gotta start bringing in
I could bring in the regular troops,
Which probably won't lead to mate anymore at this point.
Exactly.
Still win your point.
By the way, when you move...
Oh, okay. So you're getting even more...
Getting out of their defenders going in.
Too many pieces.
Ooh,
Too many pieces.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I developed a lot of opening theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I think it's called the Cochrane Gambit. Let me just put it on the board for a second.
Yeah, knight takes F7.
Knight takes F7. Yeah. So in regular chess, okay, we've seen, for example, Veselin essay it against Vladimir Kramnik in a major game. But if the gambit is dubious, in S chess it's unplayable. After takes, I will take, and I'll put my elephant here. Which now I really am threatening this pawn on E4. Bishop C4 checks, always just walks into D5. And if you're playing D3, it's just giving me time to...
You're just down a piece.
You're down a piece.
Should still be valued. Right?
Exactly. Okay, so let's look at a real opening for a second. Okay. Let's look at it.
Like, I don't know,
E4.
Lopez.
Yes, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. Now notice I didn't put anything here. Now we all understand in the Morphy defense that knight takes e5 runs into queen d4.
But now actually,
Yes.
I could trade the queen for my elephant.
That's right. So now you move your king, you put the elephant. Now if we value the elephant more
Then a queen.
no, pardon me. If we evaluate the queen more highly than an elephant, we would say, oh, well, it's great. After this trade, you're ahead. But let's go back just for a second. Just in this moment, I'm going to put my elephant on the board. I went queen d4 and elephant here. Okay, go ahead. Your knight f3, I took. You put your elephant, I took. You take with the queen. Now I make a tempo against your queen, asking you, would you like to go into this Morphy ending of bishop versus knight? If you move your queen to d1, sort of like you've lost the tempo, and
I've got my king on f1 as
and you've got your king on f1, and
bishop
I'm going
d7,
castle.
Feels very pleasant.
Yes, doesn't it? Now let's start. Let's look at another opening for just a quick second. Okay, you're right. When you go e4, I go c5. Now we understand in regular chess that you're very happy that you have an advantage with white. With this move knight c6, I'm putting my hawk on b8. What does it mean? It means that bishop b5 is meaningless. You're not going to double my pawns. It has no purpose. Try d4. Takes. G3. G6. In this particular system, it's considered Maroczy bind.
I'm supposed to play c4.
You're supposed to play c4.
But I'm getting some trouble on the long diagonal.
Correct. I will go here, you will go there, and now suddenly my hawk comes out of the dark shadows, and there's a hawk in the house.
Yeah.
And if you capture, and I capture, this is
very scary, right?
This is suddenly who has the advantage. Where did you go wrong? Like I've got rook b8 and queen a5 on my agenda.
Yeah, super big pressure.
But wait a minute, white's supposed to have an advantage in the Maroczy. Oh, what does it mean? It means that perhaps when you moved your bishop, you should have put your hawk on the board. Okay. Interesting discussion. Now, let's look at something else that's kind of major. E4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, d5, cd. I'm playing the Grunfeld. Yay. And I'm super happy. Standard position in the Grunfeld. At this moment, I haven't put anything on the board, and neither has white. But white decides.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what a dirty move. I was thinking maybe
queen. No, I was thinking about what he was saying.
Ooh. Oh my god, but that's an idea in a lot of openings then.
Yes, and a lot of the intro. I have an idea.
Oh, supported.
Yeah.
I don't know, let's start.
Yes, exactly. So let's come back.
By the way, just for the record, Yasser, you can't take my bishop because it's mate. So this would be very nasty.
Yeah, it's sort of like I'm stymied. I'm in a kind of a
this looks very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next one. A kind of opening tip, if you will. So e4, I played d6. You played d4, I played knight f6, you played knight c3. This is very standard stuff. Very standard stuff. I got the bird. Guy goes h4. So wait a minute. Nobody believes your exchange sacrifice. What a nonsense. What a horseshit. H5. Pause. Your turn. Pause. What's your best moves?
I could. Well, I'm gonna say
yes. Yeah, baby. And now, instead of queen takes h5, that doesn't come with the tempo. Now it comes with the tempo. Oh. Okay. Suddenly I go like this, forgetting that I should put something on the board. Now you follow up with another killer blow. Yeah. Yeah. I was playing Blitz with Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel Stellwagen. And he introduced the Stellwagen mate.
Mm-hmm.
The Stellwagen mate. It was terrifyingly, horrifyingly bad. We had a position that was basically like this. I apologize. I was doing quite handsomely. I have a knight on f6. I have a knight on d7. And I have a bishop on e7. He sacked like a maniac to get this construction. I went here with great confidence, as my next move is here, and then refute the attack, and it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, we had a situation like this. Don't ask me how. Just for whatever it is. And he had an olifant. An olifant. Right in front of me. Thank you. So it was something like this. I'm just giving you the outline. He went elephant here, attacking my queen. I went, say, back. He went elephant. Ooh! How painful was that?
And
suddenly it's check, double checkmate.
And I'm guessing you didn't have an elephant anymore.
No,
right?
I don't
because
have. Yeah, well, I mean, sorry there.
Oh no, wait, you couldn't even put anything.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And this was, and he said, okay, Yasser, this is the Stellwagen checkmating pattern. Oh, sweet, huh?
Yeah.
So we were playing Bughouse as chess.
Well, couldn't you, before you move, couldn't you play, maybe I'm looking at the wrong way, but couldn't you play check here?
Except I will take it.
And then if you take here...
Ooh, that looks like mate too, right?
That's what I thought.
Yes. Yes. That looks like also...
We have the Bigfoot mate, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is stomach. So it was... Well, I can't say it on the air, actually. But it was pretty bad. I'm playing... Bruce Harper and I are partners, and we're playing against Jack Hughes and Duncan Suttles. Duncan's white, Bruce is black, and Duncan says, "Give me an elephant." He does. The partner, Jack, gives him an elephant, and the elephant goes on D1, and it's the double checkmate. Two huge elephants right behind you. Bughouse S chess
is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Like, give me a hawk. I mean, and I did a simultaneous once, and long story short. Long story. I did a wonderful combination, of course, like in all simultaneouses. I was white. Long story short, a great combination, which ends up with me as white, recapturing all my sacrifice material and playing, like queen takes c4.
I can edit that out easy.
Queen takes c4. My opponent is Simultor.
You're done your drink.
Oh.
Nasty! I go and die in my corner. And we're like, oh, beautiful. So we played some S chess tournaments, and we played Bughouse, and I played with Eric. Eric was prodigious. His first games, he did very, very, very well. But then
it went down.
But you can see, you can get an idea of how many tactics and how crazy it is. And the fact that There's no symmetry in the game. And, being down a pawn could be meaningless when you have the dynamic initiative, right?
Yeah.
I mean, initiative in this game is just like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. Lots of bishop takes h7 check combinations are absolute killers.
Then you play. Yeah.
You hawk to g5,
That's true.
because, like, for example, you could go hawk to g5 in such a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Hawk here, and then queen mate.
Oh,
right.
Forget about your French.
Yeah, or if you come back, it's this and mate again, right? So like,
crazy.
Sacrificing a piece to open up the guy's king is just like cool. Now think of those openings in chess where you go e5, you're white, you go e5, you attack my knight. I go b4, I attack your knight. You take on f6. I take on c3. You take on g7. We're both bluffing one another. I take on b2. You take on h8. You promote to what?
To hawk.
Or something. I promote on a1. But not necessarily a queen, right?
No.
And it's like...
I thought you were telling me hawk because I'm going to take you or something.
Well, there might be a pawn. Those openings where we both mutually kill
there might be a knight on d4 or whatever.
Yeah, and mutually kill one another, in promotion. So imagine, if you think the hawk is super strong, imagine a double-powered hawk battery because you promoted. Ooh, like, you get those wonderful studies where the guy has some situation like this, and the guy can't move, but he's got another rook, right? Like, it's like one of these you can't move situations, right? And then suddenly, out of this comes an elephant or a hawk or something that just ends up leading to checkmate. So massive ideas. And again, the reason I thought about this stuff is because I saw in the problem world what was called theory chess. They created problems using the Capablanca pieces. And I thought, that would be so cool if we had the Capablanca on an 8x8 board. Because the 8x8 board is perfect.
You don't want to make it bigger. It gets a little bit too far away from normal chess, right?
Precisely. Yeah, that sucks. Ooh.
So how would you, do you have a value to pieces in mind?
Yes. So one of the things that we do wrongly in chess is we have what we call a material value or a point value. And we should do a different one. We should do what is called a space value. So in chess, we say the pawn is worth 1. But in space value, we say the pawn is worth 2. What? These 32 board squares belong to me. They're my space. Get out, get out, get out. Those 32 belong to you. So how many spaces can this pawn control? At maximum 2. Here, it doesn't control anything. It doesn't have a space value. It's on your side of the board. Now it's 2. Now it's 2. Now it's 2. Now it's 2. Now it's something else. So it has 2. You put a knight. It has 4. At its maximum, the knight has 6. It actually hits 8 squares, but 2 of them are yours. So we could say that this knight has a space value of 6. The pawn only has a space value of 2, so we could say knight equals 3 pawns. Okay. We take the bishop. When it's on my side of the board, it has a space value of 6, but we think the bishop could be stronger than the knight. So we put it here on your side of the board, and we say the bishop hits 7 of my spaces. So we say the bishop has a space value of 7, slightly higher than the knight, at its maximum. Queen, rook, 10. Anywhere on my board, it's 10 squares.
Yeah, okay.
Now, queen, maximum. Here, it hits 7 like the bishop, but only 4 like the rook. So to get the value of the rook, it has to be on my space, my side. So now it has a value of a rook of 10 and of a bishop of 3, 16. So the queen, we can say, has a space value of 16. Follow. Okay. We take the elephant, and we put it here. it has a space value of a rook of 10 and of a knight at 6 at 16.
So equal valuation.
Equal valuation. Now we take the hawk. Yeah. Okay. Here, 6, 4. That's only 10. Here, 7, 4. That's 11. Let's put it here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our maximum for our hawk is 12, which is less than 16, so it's not comparable to an elephant or a queen.
It's very close to bishop and knight combined, though. Because they should supposed to add up to 10 and 9. No, what is it? 9
well,
and 9.
You can have 2 knights, it's 12.
Exactly, sorry, yeah.
Right.
So bishop and knight together are 12 and a half then, right?
Well, here, in this case, it has 6,
yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But because of what you said, the synergy that it can checkmate the king by itself. It's the only piece that can do that. A queen needs a help of a pawn.
Yeah, should
give it an added value beyond 12. We don't know what it is. So that just helps us trying to find what the material balances are like. And the openings are crazy.
Yeah.
If you think about a Benko gambit, for example, how cool that would be for black. Take on a6, put the hawk.
Right, prevent castling.
Prevent castling.
Sure, right?
You know, recap, put your knight here, put the elephant here. Instantly ties the bishop to the b2 pawn. Ooh.
Yeah.
Openings like the Benoni. How often black likes to play rook f8, e8 and the Benoni to put pressure on the e4 pawn? Castle took the elephant on e8 and you got instant pressure.
Does it make any sense to play Scandinavian with black? Because you
Ask Eric. Eric, does it make any sense?
He wins by, I think it wins by force. Like, he plays Scandinavian. This guy, and he beats me.
It sounds really
10
strong.
moves. Yeah, immediately. Well, you just killed me. Just put it all over.
I have the initiative and I'm going after you.
Completely killed me with the Scandinavian. I think no, but
because
what do you do? What do you do?
But it's already a problem
in the normal.
If you're playing Scandinavian with knight f3 included, you're already in a lot of trouble if you're playing blitz and you don't know the theory by heart, right?
Right.
So now just imagine that you got the guy on d8 already. It must be horrific.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do against
pressure on d4 and d1 by extension, right?
Still haven't refuted yet.
I don't think that's refuted. I don't know.
It's
you guys can try.
The Yasser.
Yeah, and you set up the position, starting position, if you will. And I always like this one because it always kind of throws regular play. Oh, sorry, you can have like I made a mistake. It always throws regular chess players off kilter right away. Is the Nimzo is a very, very popular defense. Yeah. very, very popular. For Eric has been going through some horror
growing pains.
The Chamber of Horrors. And a hawk. So the guy goes like bishop d4. I'm playing a Nimzo. The guy what if you stopped? You didn't stop the damn thing. Like, oh my god. The guy, so it's like, go ahead, take my knight.
That's what happened.
You take, the bishop comes back, the h7 action. It's like, you're suffering instantly. Like, what happened to the solid? The solid Nimzo. It's hilariously fun. So, of course, I played a lot of blitz. But my favorite opponent, of course, is Bruce Harper, my fellow co-author. But when you really get into a good session, you can make some amazing combinations. These extra pieces are just funky. You run into a skewer that just like is befuddling. It's like, oh my god, it's trapped. Like you can just imagine something stupid. Something stupid. This is pretty standard, right? you're leading with your queen, and it's like, oh man, I can't wait to go bishop g5, and, just crunch you off the board, knight g5, and suddenly, like there's some dirty trap. What? What? Where the? No. I meant, you know what I meant. Maybe Oh, jeez. And there was some funny thing we did. We did a French defense. Oh, this was cute.
There was a question.
Yes.
Why do you not count your own territory in the space evaluation?
Because you want to attack your opponent's territory. You're not.
Right. If you don't control your own space, you've already basically failed at the start of the game.
Okay. Yes. So e5.
But in that idea, the space value of a elephant is the same as a rook,
Queen?
and as elephant is the same as a rook and knight space combined.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
All right.
So no synergy gains.
But no synergy points.
But in the case of the queen, it doesn't have the combined space power of a rook and bishop, because the rook is worth 10, the bishop is worth 7 at its maximum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the queen, to be at its maximum, must be on my territory.
Yeah.
So that reduces the bishop to 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember quite exactly the way we did it, Eric. But
Try to forget.
But it was something like this, okay? And you can imagine what's coming.
You have a bishop on g4. Your bishop's on g4.
Oh, so it must have come as
a
card.
This or something?
Yeah, and we got something like this.
Yep, and I calculated this, and I thought, I'm going to take and place.
Well, hello, beautiful.
Yes. This is exactly what happened.
Oh, my
Why are you laughing so
No.
horrible.
I'm just sharing the story with
I thought I got Yasser.
It was just so sweet. It was just so sweet. Oh,
jeez. Yeah, you gotta grab him.
Yeah. Right there. Hurleys. Right there. But it's in the future we are definitely right now our biggest impediment is to put the game online, just so that you have a server, just like an ICC or chess.com, and put it on a server so that people can play as chess and Bughouse. And but a lot of the chess servers, their code is limited to the game of chess, where you literally have to rewrite the code to accommodate the two new pieces. And so it's very difficult for the ICC, for example, to offer S-chess as a variant. Yeah?
Yeah.
But I definitely want to put it on a server. We're gonna have tournaments. I'll sponsor, big matches and stuff, and I'll have S-chess.
It sounds incredible.
And there's no theory, which is great. Like, who wouldn't want to play in a tournament with no theory?
There's also not going to be any engines anytime soon, because it sounds horribly complicated.
You want to give it a shot? I will slow you down, and I'm not gonna, exploit you too much. Okay, just a second. All right, let's see. All right, ready?
You ready?
Let's go. Start. Yeah. Oh, he's doing this.
It's already losing.
You have Robin Van Kampen against Yasser Seirawan, the creator.
The creator. You can call me the architect. Like out of the Matrix. Oh, what a pooch. What a pooch. Didn't even go for the mainline stuff. Didn't want to let me open up the position. Okay, at the moment I haven't put anything on. So far we're good. Now, let me see. What do I want to put on? Okay, I am going to put on a hawk.
I like what you're doing, Robin. Doing better than me. E4 is a bad move.
E4 is a bad move. Okay. Let's go here. And let's go. Okay, so at this position, I've sacrificed a pawn, but in the strangest way, I have an edge. Why? It's actually my bishop on g7 is very, very useful against the bishop on c1.
What are you? Oh crap! I'm gonna put it on the ace.
Yes, because you've already put your elephant on the board. If you kept the elephant off the board, I wouldn't have been able to take on d5.
Because of queen takes d5.
Exactly, yeah. And elephant d1.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna consider bishop b5, but you're gonna go knight takes c3 and sack your queen.
Bishop b5 attacking the hawk.
Yeah, but you're going to just sack it and take on b5 after I take your queen.
Ah, okay. So even though you played solid and safe, somehow I got a bit of an edge, huh?
Robin, if
Yeah,
you win,
but I'm not giving up. Yeah.
Of course not. Of course, no. Small edge in S chess is nothing. I mean, it can easily turn.
Yeah, if Robin wins, then.
Somebody's donating.
Whoa. Well, that's a safe. Robin. Look at you go.
I'm just gonna try to exchange these pieces and play.
Okay.
Slightly so.
Might want to get that queen off that line, boy.
Boy. I said what? I said what? You playing with me, boy? This is. I wanted to keep this guy. Okay. Not sure if I'm playing this very well, but here we go. Ooh. Not bad. I like.
Oh crap, I forgot about that.
That's funny.
Oh, damn.
Dirty! What a dirty guy!
Show.
Show him, boys.
Oh, you're trying so hard.
Yeah, in this moment. Oh, sorry. So in this moment, I thought thanks to the double threat,
Yeah.
I'm
losing material. Right?
Well, I'm not sure. Let's say you had gone here.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
We could play elephant to f3, right?
Elephant to f3. Yes, that would defend.
But Yasser,
now this is the interesting thing. In chess, every piece has a weakness. So in other words, the queen can be forked by a knight. Exactly. Yeah. Now, these two really strong pieces, the queen and the elephant, are suddenly pinned, right?
But the problem with this move is that you just win material by taking, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. No.
That's right.
So actually, I'm in huge trouble probably. I mean, I'm gonna have to play like F.
That might look.
Maybe
But can
also
you,
winning it.
can you do something like this, perhaps? That might just hold steady the ship, right?
Is my threat to go here or not really? Probably, right?
Yes, probably. You can imagine how much fun this would have been if I had this, like I'm hitting things and you're defending everything. Ooh.
Okay, I want to give it
Yeah, of course.
I think it's an advantage to play with black.
There you go.
I think that after c5 you're just better.
I prefer playing with. I beat it in the first game with black, and I play, I get killed.
And by the way,
wait, the very first game you played?
Yes, he is like a prodigy. Eric was amazing. I mean,
after that, the spanking started. Huh?
Yeah.
First 2 games were
you see, it's like you suck him in. You give him some bait.
Yeah, you did. You told me
the guy gets addicted.
Since you
10 days later, he goes to bed crying in a fetal position.
Would you want same drink?
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
What about you,
Roger? I still have, man.
Okay,
I have my your neighbor.
Ah, okay.
Perfect.
Let me get to you, Robin.
All right. Ooh, let's go. Okay. And let's go. Notice I didn't accept the Benko Gambit. Very important.
4 moves, he's already out of theory.
yeah.
What a grandmaster.
He's on his own. He's on his own.
Oh, that's like my home.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so tempted.
Do it.
I shouldn't do it.
Do it.
I really shouldn't. But I cannot help myself. I know this is not a good move. But I have a dream.
Queen A5. Trust me.
My dream is to take castle, put an elephant on E1 and go E5.
Do the Bigfoot opening. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen my openings, right, against you and Amon, that he should play Queen A5 here.
Queen A5.
Does it work here?
What does it threaten?
Nothing. I'll show Yasser later if he knows my opening trick.
I think we need to
In
develop
the
a
Benko?
No, with the normal thing, the shadow. I have this opening, and Robin and Eric and Amon has fallen for it every time.
Well, that sounds pretty good. You've already. It's okay. That was good.
Cheater.
I can put a
Cheater.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here's again one of the great mysteries to be asked and answered. Is the hawk better or worse than the elephant? Than the queen? And I don't know the answer. But I'm going to make the sweeping assumption, I'm going to believe you, that you actually had a threat. And also, one of the reasons why I didn't put the elephant was because then you would have that opportunity to catch.
Jeez, my position's bad.
So what happened? Well, at the moment, you got everybody sitting at home.
Yeah. I like the Grunfeld as black.
In S chess, I think it's a decent opening too.
Yeah.
can take that. Oh, you dog. Oh, you dog. I can't believe you would. I mean, I thought better of you than that, Robin. That is really amazing.
The student has become the master.
There we go. Let's get rid of you. Okay. Now then, let us. And let me put the.
You sure?
It feels right. Yeah. So why did I put it there? So I was thinking that in certain cases I can bring my elephant out.
One thing is you have your nice hawk steady on h7, and you could go to f2, h3 with your elephants.
Mm-hmm.
I see the general idea.
There are ideas. Okay, so takes rook g8. I have to be careful of a hawk mate. How cool is that?
He still plays it.
Well, hello, beautiful.
Rats.
Ooh, my intention was to play here, but I haven't opened that in time. Oh, darn it. And I've got to watch out for this guy. That's very important. All right. Check. Bravo. Bravo. Okay, check. Check.
We'll play knight g4, queen h4 here. It's black.
Knight g4, bishop g4, hawk g4, that kind of thing.
And then queen h4 it's
Yeah, there's some
tricky, but
yeah, there's some definite interesting line there. Whoa, Robin. I don't know, Robin.
We'll get the Vaseline ready.
Yeah. Robin. Holy cow, I'm down on time now.
And you've seen Robin play bowling.
Yeah, he's death on wheels, no question about it. Okay,
well, that's true.
Okay, let's attempt. Let's drop you off.
You do the dirty, Robin.
Do the dirty. Now.
Here we go. Here we go. 30 seconds each. Robin making a comeback here.
I like this.
I think Robin's winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
you got the bag, buddy.
Let's go, Robin.
Let's go, buddy. Don't let him get to you.
Actually, his moves are easy to anticipate. He doesn't have a knight or queen.
Check. Check. Check.
Stop it, Yasser.
Yeah, so he's got 10 seconds.
Oh,
Robin at 13.
Robin!
Oh. Whoa!
And
I defended the knight.
No, check.
Exactly. Oh. It's.
It was a horrible game.
But
Big game stuff. I beat him like that too.
But as a variant, I mean, we all play variants, right?
Yeah.
Bug House is my favorite. Crazy House is up there. But as a variant, it's pretty intense. It's fun with the different pieces.
But you literally traded a rook for queen, right? You sacked a full rook for queen and pawn for a queen for rook and pawn.
And the initiative. At the time that I played
But you had to make
Elephant G7.
Yeah, but you had to make the backwards move there. I
Right.
understand it's initiative,
No.
but like
I'll tell you what
with your hawk on b1, it's not that fast. Like it's a long-term thing, but
what I made was a move error. Seriously, what I made was a move error here. I needed. Sorry, there was a rook. You have this guy on A8. By the way, you also got a little bit stuck with the knight on B8.
yeah, I couldn't move it
Right?
at all.
Yeah, it was like not so nice. You were here. There was a bishop on E7 and a hawk on here.
Yeah, I had a
And
very
like
bad
this?
pawn structure.
Yes, and I had a pawn perhaps here. So it was actually an inspired choice to put my elephant on. I
Yeah.
liked it very much. I have a queen here.
Yeah.
This is and a knight on
knight
C3. This is where what I wanted to do was this.
You still have bishop.
Yes,
Yeah, and I thought I would take now. With the
Right.
hawk and then play.
that was my problem.
Yeah.
So my
Because
dream
I'm stopping your hawk as well.
precisely. So my dream was somehow that I would have this trade, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say here, and then here. You did a very good swap.
But you didn't take. You did it without the pawns, right?
Precisely. You played rook H8 to G8,
Yeah.
and then you put
No, but
elephant here.
the position was like that, so
That's
with the
right.
mate. Or you're talking about this version?
Right.
Okay.
So in this line,
Yeah, now I can take you. Yeah.
precisely. So my mistake here was I played very well this moment
With the, you mean,
when
yeah.
I pointed. Yes, this. I pointed out.
Yeah.
Hawk H3.
Yeah.
So I saw what you did.
Uh-huh.
Well, so I wanted to play this,
When you're just better.
and then when you go back, I get the variation on.
With Hawk G6.
Right. Okay.
And
But
I'm,
now-
I'm still holding on to it.
This was the subtle. Well, it's kind of stupid point. Takes rook.
And you
in
can't
my-
take, yeah, that's
That was my point.
because this
So right.
Yeah.
So my dream was just to take, and I'm happy. Oh.
check
You called it. You called him in front.
Smothered mate. So, I have played this.
Yeah, because Queen H6 gives the initiative away, right? I would play probably here. I was trying to calculate because your Queen probably this is the only square, right? Or you're gonna have to give it, which looks strange.
No, I was afraid of rook G6 because
Oh, actually, it's the same idea, and then just take somewhere.
take, and again, if I move a
Yeah.
I can't
yeah.
leave H8 H3 mate hanging. So I thought.
Yeah, I thought of the same thing with the bishop on f8, except that you can still change.
Right. So I thought that in this circumstance, I should change. And this was a moment that I thought you played a mistake.
No, because I actually took with the pawn.
Yes, yeah. I thought you should have taken with the hawk.
But I thought I'm forced to go back now.
No, I did too.
Oh, check.
Yes! I missed that. And it's suddenly dominant there, right?
It's super nice there. Yeah.
Oh!
And you're not trapping it after king h1 or something.
No, because there's f2 mate. I have to be careful. And your knight comes beautifully to d7 to e5, and you have a great game.
In fact, if you move queen b6, you can barely defend your stuff.
Things have gone south.
Yes. Oh, so actually here I'm having like some sort of very nice Benoni type of position.
Right. And when you took with the pawn, it's kind of giving me a little bit. Yeah, right. Giving me a little bit of chance.
I thought it was lost. I thought this was still like
barely hanging
on to it. Yeah.
But it was, by the way, it was a nice idea. Yeah. I didn't see because it looked like for some reason your knight was so stuck.
Yeah.
Your rook was never coming out, and I thought, I don't know, and then suddenly rook a6, and it's
well,
tough.
The thing is that I'm technically material up, right?
Right.
So that's why.
But you're
I can afford.
In a bind.
I can afford at least holding on, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Probably, actually, in hindsight, you probably had the chance to take with the bishop. To stop the idea. No, to stop the idea altogether.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah, just and then increase the pressure because this was not a good inclusion for me.
Well, in fact, it was a good inclusion.
It would be if this would win the tempo, but it's not as defended, so I don't have actually time to.
You're right.
Yeah. So bishop takes c4, and like my idea is really bad.
But just in looking at these games, you saw that there's so much to see. It's
incredible.
And again, in this game especially, the material mix was all over the map, right? I mean, we're used to saying, "Oh, white's a pawn up," and thinking that can be decisive. But in this position where I sacrificed my queen for a rook and pawn and a little initiative, it wasn't like you were very comfortable.
You were very comfortable.
You were very happy.
You want to enjoy